Alex, we talked yesterday about a report from Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic that suggested that the Braves could spin big on the right starting pitcher. Well, who is the right starting pitcher? We've talked about these candidates plenty over the offseason, so I don't have to say too much. But John Morosi reports that they are strong suitors for Aaron Nola and Sonny Gray. So it looks like there is, some real substance to this report that they're at least going to put their best foot forward. I'm not sure that they're going to land either of these guys, but they are going to target some of the top guys. And listen, Aaron Nola is my cup of tea. I know a lot of people will disagree that if you follow the sport closely, and they'll talk about the home runs he gave up last year and the 4.4 ERA he had last year. Here's the thing that I love about Aaron Nola, though. And it comes down to this. It's the durability, man. When you talk about this rotation, when you talk about the injuries that it's had, having a guy that's made 32 starts every year over the last 5 seasons outside of the COVID shortened season has to be attractive. And beyond that, not only that, he limits his walks. He strikes out batters at a high clip. He's often among the lead leaguers in strikeout to walk ratio, which means he's throwing 200 plus innings every single inning. He's every single season. He's the definition of a workhorse. And that's why I think the Braves, if they're going to spend it, what is the right pitcher, right? Well, that's the right pitcher. That's what the Braves value. They value the durability. They value the postseason experience. They value, the 200 plus innings. They value the limiting the walks. When you're talking about giving a long-term contract to a pitcher, those are the things that you should really value, because that's the definition of consistency. And whether that will play out over a 6-7 year deal, which you're going to have to give to Aaron Nola, it shows that it probably will.
Yeah, for me, all those things that you mentioned are absolutely valid. For me, it's the postseason experience, and he doesn't have a ton. 2022, 2023, 2022, 3.7 ERA though. You gotta like that. For me, it's all about the postseason, and obviously it's a small-ish sample size, but it's a good enough sample size for me to think that he could get it done. That's what I'm all for, and if he's healthy, that's obviously a plus for the postseason. Aaron Nola is a fan favorite for me, obviously, for me and you, LSU boys, and it would just be even sweeter to get him for the Phillies. I mean, obviously he's good on the mound, and all those things are true that we've been mentioning, but it makes it that much sweeter to steal him from a division rival, especially a division rival who's going to be clamoring for him. Like, they would be fools to let Nola walk out of the door. Maybe they have their sights set higher on somebody like a Blake Snell. I don't know. But it would be great to just go in and rob the Phillies of, arguably their best starter. Zach Wheeler's probably their ace, but Nola's right there, 1-2 punch. It would make it that much sweeter.
Yeah, and I think a couple things to consider. Obviously, you mentioned the LSU thing. He's from Baton Rouge. He's from the South, maybe moving closer to home. It's also important that his fiance is from North Georgia. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Maybe she wants to move back home. So there are some ties there that it's like, you're like, oh, well, why would he even leave Philadelphia? Well, maybe he does want to come down south. I'm still thinking it's probably going to come down to money and dollars and whether the Phillies want to match that, because they do have deeper pockets. If they match whatever deal the Braves, it's hard for me to think that he's going to go to a division rival. Why would you want to leave Philly? I mean, it's a great place to play if you're a player, unless you you really just want to move down south or something like that. Let's get to Sonny Gray.
Hang on, one more thing on Nola, just small Rick Kranitz connection there. So there are connections to the Braves area, geography. So,
but I will say, I think the more realistic of the two is Sonny Gray, simply because he's older. He's probably going to require half the commitment. The Braves have shown hesitation in giving that long-term commitment. Now, maybe the durability attracts them this time around, but like I always say in these situations, I'm not holding my breath. I've heard plenty of rumors about plenty of superstars, and the Braves have always lowballed them and been on the lower end of the spectrum. And at the end of the day, it just doesn't end up working. That's not how you land high-priced free agents, by offering them $50 million less than the other team. It just usually doesn't work like that. So I'm going to hold my breath on Aaron Nola. And I think a guy like Sonny Gray makes a lot more sense, but I wouldn't be surprised if his market gets two things. So I'm taking these reports with a grain of salt. It's nice to see that they're doing their due diligence, but this is really what they should be doing, regardless of whether they have the intention of giving him a 6-7 year deal or Sonny Gray a 4 or 5 year deal.
Yeah, as always, there's two sides to this. The teams are playing the media. Agents are playing the media. The media is just a tool. It's a mechanism to get certain things to where you want them, whether you're on the club side or the player side. So a lot of times, I just want to preface all of this that obviously we want either or of these guys, it would be an unbelievable signing and would do wonders for the future of this rotation. But let's all just remember that these agents could very well be nothing's getting out of the Braves side. Let's just nip that in the bud. Nothing's getting out of the Braves side. But a lot of these agents will just, try and drive up prices on the open market by just saying that this team's interested. And all it really was is Anthopoulos calling and saying, hey, are you open to potentially discussing, Sonny Gray or whoever, Nola, coming to Atlanta? So, everybody should kind of take a grain of salt with all these reports. We are as excited about it as anybody. I promise I'm going to run with it. But always remember that there's two sides to this, and agents are just as fickle as some of these owners and GMs.
Yeah, and what easier way to drive up Aaron Nola's price tag when negotiating with the Phillies than looking at him and say, hey, the Braves are interested. Hey, they've got this on the table. You need to up your offer. Aaron Nola's going to go to your division rival. So there's obviously some of that going on. But I do think the Braves will make a splash in some form or fashion. Trade, we don't know. Free agency, obviously, we've talked about Ohtani in this episode. It'll be interesting. After the break, Arthur Smith confirmed locked in for the rest of the year. His job is safe for